Hello, everybody. It is NPL time. Can't wait for this bullshit. There we go. Just a heads up to everybody. This is probably the last weekend I will commentate. Thank you, Harry. It's probably the last weekend I will commentate before not only my EP comes out, but also next week. It is not one song, Harry. I'll let you know. There's actually 5 songs on my EP. But yeah, next week I'm on holiday for the whole week. Actually, hold on a minute. I'm there for 5 days. I might be able to do next Sunday. I can do today and tomorrow. Not next Saturday. Next Saturday, without any question in my mind, I will not be able to commentate. But I will be able to commentate next Sunday. 5 songs on the EP coming out on Monday for anyone who's interested. Hello, Logana. Hello, Harry. Hello, Jan. Hello, Devas. There's all the people that I've seen so far in the chat. We have an Israeli in the lobby, so you know the drill. Kill him as soon as possible. And everyone else, pretty cool. Anyway, so as we all know, Ski is the championship leader. And I'm not actually sure who's second. I'm not sure if it's Dan or Lucas. I'm aware, as Dan has told me, that he was given 3 seconds. Rumor on the wall is also the goat of Olympia. That doesn't even fucking rhyme, bro. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Thank you, bro. Also, I'm going on vacation next week, Sunday, gang. Oh, Jan. How the world will be gone without you. Harry said Gary. Gary is not the championship. Oh, yeah, no. Gary's second. Oh, yeah, because he won the sprint. That's crazy. Dan, lock in. Lucas, lock in. You guys need to lock in because how the fuck are you behind Gary when he did 1 week? Mate, I have to eat my... What? Eat my pizza still. I assume that says pizza. I can't read that. For some reason, it glitched to the side of my screen. I can't actually read what it says. Also, for those who don't know, I had to, as you probably saw in my story, I had to wipe my fucking phone because there's so much malware from the fucking Spotify APK I was trying to download and definitely nothing else. I had 22 gigabytes of random bullshit in my phone. So once I deleted that, I've now only got 3 gigabytes of bullshit in my phone. So my phone storage has been reduced by 62%. Which is called employment. Thank you, bro. All right, indeed. But yeah, my phone screen is also fucked, so that's fun. Rule 34, yes, bro. See, Harry was the only one who caught my who kept it niche. You know what I'm talking about. There's one thing since I met Harry that I still say all the time is you know what I'm talking about after like everything I say. I say it in and outside of NPL. It's very funny. Yeah, Sigmapore, we all know. There is a little halo emoji from Harry, as you know. The man himself. There are 14 people for the Singapore Grand Prix. The only person I've never seen in my entire fat fucking life is, yeah, he said it. Antosiu999. Bro works for fucking 999. Yes, yeah, fucking, is that Nizok? Is that Nizzo? Whatever his name is. He's the guy who keeps commenting on my videos on my music account on Instagram. Because he's goated. Anyone who interacts with my music account or promotes it is fucking goated and gets a personal blowjob from yours truly. What race? I was gonna call it Sigmapore, but spell poor P-O-U-R to try and get it to rain, but I didn't even need to. I am back. Yes, Nizzo, my fucking go. I know you're here on Saturday last week for Singapore, for Monaco, sorry. It was one of the weirdest races I've ever seen. What a win by Ski! Probably one of the greatest overtakes for a win I've ever seen in an NPL race on the restart. Full commitment on the restart, got him the win. He basically manifested it into reality. It shows both dry and wet. Interesting. Now, I would like to see how the weather forecast plays out for the Grand Prix here today. You never know what might happen. Of course, Singapore. Why is it a daytime quali session, by the way? Dan, please tell me you didn't set it to date. Because that would be really, really shit, if I'm being honest with you. We have a few cars on track currently. Restart for that? Okay, bro. Why are we restarting quali? Because it's just a fucking day session, bro. Just do a day Monaco race. It's not that deep. Like, it'd be first of its kind in NPL history and also in F1 history. Because no other league's definitely ever done that before. This race would be crazy in the day. Wouldn't it have like ridiculous tyre wear? Guaranteed 2-stop because if it wasn't already. Well, you do it 1-stop pretty much. Okay, so Dan doing quali first, then doing a night race. Interesting. All that for a night session is crazy. Nicky returning here today in the Mercedes, currently on track. His teammate Logan, obviously. Probably a dark horse championship contender. I would honestly say if he does every race like he has done so far, he could be a championship contender despite starting last every single race. Harry has also returned. He had a win last season for Cadillac, now driving for Ferrari alongside John, who was not racing today. It feels like Harry and John have yet to be teammates. So far this season, the first weekend we saw only John and Frosty being teammates. Now we see only Harry and Frosty being teammates in this race. So Harry wasting no time getting around. So that's Frosty that I just saw. Harry is a little bit further back of the lap with an Audi behind him. I think that is Lucas, one of the championship contenders for the season, as you'd imagine. Of course, Gary, who we knew wasn't going to race much this season, is currently not racing today, and not probably not race for a little while, which means the championship is blown wide open for those trying to get ahead of Ski in the championship, who, of course, took the lead of the championship in the first race of the season for the first time in his entire career in NPL since he joined in season 13. Of course, wouldn't have had the chance to there, but Osio, or his name is, currently in P12. Not the best corner there, but he seems to be new to league racing, from what I can tell. I've never seen this guy before, so welcome to the league, I guess. What we got? There's Jan in P13 in the Audi. This track's good for battery management because you don't need to worry about it too much. Watching Jan's on board, he could be a lot more committed through these corners, I'm telling you. It's definitely going to cost him on this lap. I think I'm not sure he's going to be the first to set a time here. Because there's a few people coming around. I think it's Antosio actually who's going to play. He's got a tow from his teammate in the other hatch, which is Krasik, the Israeli Polish driver, whatever you want to call him. Still, I'm putting out a personal hit on that guy. I don't care what Dan says. Every time someone takes out Krasik, I'll give them 5 points in the championship. Those 5 points could be critical. And across the line, 132.4 is the benchmark time to beat. I think there's an Audi going around. Is that Jan? I think Frosty might go into a lap now. Yes, he does. Jan absolutely sent the final corner and he gets a 1:30.5 in the process, which goes 1.9 seconds quicker, just under 2 seconds quicker. And there goes Harry now ahead by a stupendous margin. Gets a 28.9 in the Ferrari. That's a great lap. Hubert there, there's a 30.6, and it's behind Jan. There goes an even quicker lap from Lucas on his banker there with a 128.8. That's a great lap from him. That's KP going to manage across the line. I think he backed off his lap. He does. He gets it. Despite that, I think he backed off his lap and he still was quicker than Antosio. I don't even know. How do you pronounce that? Antosio? Antosio? I'm just going to call him Antonio, bro. Hello, Antonio. Antonio Giovinazzi has returned to F1. Dervas is currently on a lap. Oh no, he's not. He's just cut the whole corner. He's out lap, I should say. Who is on a lap? But Mickey goes there with a 29.4. Not bad. The Cadillac's on track. Ski, the championship leader, is. But oh my god, Dan is in some traffic right now. I hope Ski doesn't get involved. Now, there's literally a train of about 8 cars in the middle sector right now, all in the way of one another. As you watch the Cadillac driver continue on his way now. What is without question his best chance to go for the title in his career so far. It's definitely since season 14, I would say. Also is ankle knee or Anthony. Ankle knee? What do you mean ankle knee? Nice cut there from Ski, not illegal. Very sure. There is an absolutely outrageous stream of cars in the middle sector. I really do hope for their sake that they don't cause any accidents. And at the back of that train is Lucas, who's currently sitting on provisional pole. We've seen him be on provisional pole in every single quali session at some point this season so far, including in sprint quali Well, actually, I don't know about sprint quality. I missed the sprint quality in Silverstone because I was not available to join. Where is Ski now? As he comes to the far side, he's got a bunch of traffic to get through, including Lucas and Jan, and both the Audis, both struggling here to get out of the way in time, and that's going to cost Ski, I feel. Hello, J-Dog. Ski there in P3 is 3 tenths behind Lucas. And, oh my god, a 5-place grid penalty for Frosty for hitting down. Well, that's interesting. It looks like Frosty's on a lap, so not the point though, because he's not going to get 5 places anyway. And then if you compound that with the grid penalty, he's just guaranteed to start last this way. Let's be real. But John's in the chat, but I assume, can you not race, John, or what? So you're leaving Harry Bear. Harry 9 Bear. Nightmare Fun Bear is currently in P2, your teammate, and he's now currently ahead of the championship leader and is splitting himself between Lucas and Ski, who are currently both top, I think top 3 in the championship, both of them. Dan also has had a decent start to the season. I think he's running close to, I don't actually know the standings, but I don't really care. Ski there, very close to the Audi on his in-lap on the ceiling. 10% awake, no, that's not a good sign. I think that's a good reason not to race. KP in the Aston Martin. We know he's got pace when he wants it. He's currently on a lap. Oh, that's in the wall. Yeah, I saw that coming. You know, race. Fair enough, John. John S. Martin, 4148. He's not racing today, guys. Just an announcement. Logan, of course, is not allowed to qualify because he's too fast. And I actually wouldn't be surprised if Logan wins this race because it's Singapore. And he's pretty fucking insane at Singapore. Dan has invalidated his lap, but he's about to go into one, I'm assuming. He's got a little damage or something. In the bottom left, I see the red. Oh, Harry goes quickest again. On a U set, was that? Yeah, U set goes 2 tenths quicker than Lucas with a 28.6. That's a great lap from Harry, who means business in these cars. You must think if Harry raced more often, he would definitely contend for race wins pretty frequently, if not every single race. I think he has done in the races he's competed in with these cars. But Dan there continues on. Why is it daytime? Yeah, for real, Ski. That's why Dan said to restart after this session has ended. I mean, if you needed to be... Oh, that's a clever first touch from Dan. Andy, a nice cut on the left-hander there. This could be a good lap from Dan. As ever, Dan is an interesting driving style through this circuit, I've noticed. He turns in very late under low-speed corners, which is a good idea, but much later than anyone else seems to. He really is trusting his braking. Of all the main driver that you raced with and against, who would you most like to see win a World Drivers' Championship? Oh, that's a very good question. Of those who haven't won already, I imagine you mean as well. That's a good question. Now, I've not raced against Lucas, so I can't say that. I would like him to win a championship at some point. Ski, it's very fun. Harry got 2 warnings. Oh my god, Dan just got impeded by Hubert, I think that was, in the Alpine on his outlap. My god, that was close to a... Oh, Dan almost... And he did hit the wall. Dan fumbling under the pressure, but probably taken aback by that pretty stupid placement from Hubert to just sit in the middle of the track. How bizarre. He's stuck on the curb. What is going on for Dan here? Harry got 2 warnings, apparently. What about me? What about me? Well, John, I haven't got to this yet. I gotta go through everybody. So, between you, Dan, Ski, Harry, Jan... Well, Jan's not gonna win, let's be real, but you know. Logan, I mean, look, let's be real. Logan, of all people in the league, deserves a championship the most. If he were to race as an inner, he would win a championship. Without any doubt in my mind. I think his consistency alone would give him a championship. Ski also, I think Ski's a really good driver. He's always contended for race wins every season. It's very rare you see Ski not get more than 1 victory in a season. Of course, in only his... Well, it was his first full-time season in NPL. He got 4 wins back in season 14, which was a great season for Ski. Only 1 less, or was it 2 less, than the championship winner, Fabian, that season. Had the second most of anybody. And obviously Dan's been around forever. He made the league. To be honest with you, call me a bitch, but I think of all the people in the league who I want to see win a championship, I'd say Dan. Because Dan literally lost by 0 points this season. And Dan has been in the top 3 in the championship so many times in the history of the league. I could list them. I'm pretty certain he got top 3 in... Did he get top 3 season 1? I don't know if Dan's listening to me, but when he goes into the pit box, please answer the question. did you actually compete in this league in season 1? And did you get top 3 is what I meant to say. Did you get top 3 that season? Because I swear... Actually, if you can hear me, Dan, read down this straight, or the next straight where you can, if you did finish top 3 in the standings in season 1. Because I have a feeling. You know, season 11 was pretty good, I have to say. Now, actually, looking back on that season, I didn't realize how many races I won out of the races I competed in. I did 9 of 11 races, an interesting set of numbers there that have no relation to anything else. And that was definitely, you know... Actually, that was of the race I finished. I competed in 13 races that season. I also DNF'd twice in a row for the first and only time in my entire career in NPL. But anyway, what else happened that season? Well, so yeah, John, very good season for John. Finished second in the Drivers' Championship. Oh my god, is that Lucas on top? Come on. Yeah, John was no Koki run. Devas says, good old day season 11. Indeed, Devas, I miss when you won in Imola and you got that podium in Vegas. I remember that. John obviously won that race as well. And won in Qatar as well, and it was a very close victory. Not the closest winning margin of all time. I believe we broke that record, didn't we, at some point recently? It was over a year ago now. That is crazy. That's crazy. Even season 11 was a year ago. Because it's the middle of August, and we would have been pretty deep into season 11. I'm pretty sure surely it was not quite. That's where season 12 started when I came back to college that year. I think I remember that detail from last year, but I don't know. It's crazy how many seasons we've had on NPL in the last year versus any other year in NPL history. I think we've had in the last year, this will be the 8th season. Technically the 9th if you're counting the other tier that we had season 15. And if you're not counting F2, which also would add another 4 seasons. So that's crazy. Now that I think about it. Obviously F2 and NPL technically started season 9, but most people weren't there for that. And I won every single one of those races before they cancelled the championship. Sounds familiar. Same happened in the original season 10. And the same happened in the original season... and it was season 9 as well. F1 and F2 we did at the same time when we first tried to do that. Season 9 and F1 24 did not go well. Wasn't well received. But anyway. Then we went back to F1 23 for that season, which was a very fun little season. Only 10 races. Tied for the least in NPL history along with season 1. I'm just waffling at this point. Lucas, though, has gone to Arena Pole. I don't think he got any warnings, but it's not my business to check. 129.7 for the Aston Martin of KP. Jan has improved massively to 29.9, and Dan only manages a 29.5. And seems quite a way off the pace, a second slower than Lucas in first place, is one of his main title rivals. You have to think Dan is feeling the pressure here in qualifying a little bit, especially in these day conditions. Is that Jan currently? Just about having music going well. Meek isn't the same, but you're doing the right thing, and I wish you many thanks. Thank you, John. I appreciate the kind words. That was very nice of you. I am trying to make more of an effort for my music career. I have made a lot of collabs. I've reached out to loads of people. I'm going to do loads of open mic nights, loads of gigs. Obviously, open mic nights give you talent scouts and stuff. They'll try and sign me to labels if they actually like my performances. And also I'm friends with loads of producers, including my friend Max, who is Prad Swami. He mastered my EP that's coming out on Monday. And he also works with loads of producers. He's worked with the likes of Mac Miller, he's worked with Jay-Z, he's worked with Earl Sweatshirt and stuff like that. And he's friends with this person called Lauren, etc, etc, etc. I've got lots of things coming up in the next few months when it comes to music, and I hope to expand my name out there a little bit, because obviously I'm not a very big creator yet. I barely get any streams, but the little following I do have is pretty loyal, so I'm pretty happy about it. Yes, thank you, John. That sounded PR trained, but that was genuine. Mickey also went P4. I think he already was P4, but I'm not sure he improved his lap on that, because I think a 29.4 is not bad. 9 tenths off the original pole, but still, a track this long. Jan has died in the pit lane, it would seem. Maybe it was in the pit entry, because we've seen this before. If you crash in the pit entry in this league, you usually get teleported back to the pit box or the track straight away, and there you go, you're done. But I think he was in the pit lane, to be honest. It wasn't even like a crash or anything. The first ever crash in an NPL session was Fabian in Season 1 at this very track, in the pit entry wall. It was a crash no one can forget from the original NPL members, of which there is only one left. We have 9 plus a few drinks. Well, thank you, John, that is very nice. Well, he had to add a few drinks as well. What it takes to get out of it, you know. Whoa! And there is Antozi, whoever his name is, in the house. Coming through the chicane. Also, it's sad that you're not here, John. I'd like to see you and Harry as teammates. I'm sure you guys would really compete in the top 5, top 3 sort of places on the grid. I would love it. Honestly, I do believe truly that there will be a double Ferrari podium this season at some point. It's very likely. You know, John has been very good in the last sort of season. Of season 16 was one of the best seasons for a long time, I'd say. From what I saw anyway. Of course, I missed a lot of the season in the middle portion where I was not really watching the races as much. The race against Mark, come on. That'll be my last chance to commentate anything. I don't even know if I will commentate actually, because I do have plans for tomorrow to go out with a friend. But we will see. We'll see. What the fuck is happening with Frosty and Mickey right now? Some heated incident here. Harry is on a lap, it looks like. Rush is on board as... Oh my god! He's been disqualified from the session for a collision with Low Gunner, and a 5-place grid penalty for Low Gunner as well, even though he's already starting in last place. Now he won't start last because Frosty will. So that's just made Low Gunner's life a little bit easier, if I'm not mistaken. He will still be able to start ahead of him, because he just disqualified himself. That was deserved for Frosty. He basically just trapped him in the run career. Unfortunately, because of these slow cars around the lap. Fun fact: only teammate I've had a teammate double podium with everyone but Bonfo. Interesting. That is true because you had a teammate podium in your first season with Riley at Jeddah season 10. I remember that, and again in season 11, season 12 you had a double podium. Actually, you didn't have one with Riley at Red Bull, but you already had one with them. I know what you meant though, John. Don't worry. Across the line comes Harry then, and he couldn't improve. Of course, he got warnings on his lap, so he might see himself get a time penalty in the race or disqualify himself from the session if the warnings are true, and I think he will. I think he is disqualifying himself as we speak. Oh my god, who the fuck was that? Was that Dervas? Oh, actually, that was Nizak. It wasn't? Okay. I didn't feel like it was very in character for Dervas. What a lap, by the way. 29.9. Very good stuff from him. What about Ski, though? What's he got? In the first sector, he's down by 300, so Harry has disqualified himself, and Lucas goes even faster by 800ths of a second. Goes to the top of the times once again. Ski now has a 6/10 gap to make up, but I don't think he's going to do it. Yes, Harry, I was told by a few people that you had a couple warnings, at least by Ski anyway. That's unfortunate, but it's the rules. I would say I made the rules. I don't make the rules now, though. It's okay, Harry, you'll be alongside Low Gunner. To be honest, you and him are both very fast, and you're probably the quickest people on the track, maybe except for Lucas. So we'll see what Ski and Dan have up their sleeve in these final runs here in qualifying. Dan is improving slightly in the first sector. Nice cut on the left side there as he hits even just under the apex of the corner. There is an Audi moving out of his way. I believe that would have to be Lucas, and he's now moving to the middle sector there after since retired from the session from 8th place. A good effort from him. Look how close it is between Jan, Krasik and Dervas. Only 500 separate them. KP goes second quickest at the line. Once again, as ever, surprising with a quick lap at the end of qualifying. He loves doing that. Ski also has run out of time, it looks like. And that is it. Ski will start third at best as the championship leader with one of his rivals starting on pole. Can Dan usurp his position in third? I think he can. It's a perfect middle sector for Dan. And if he can have a really good last set, he's got so much battery to use. I think he genuinely could get on the front row here, which would really thwart Ski's championship chances early in the season and give him a bit more of a challenge. And there's a Mercedes in the way there. That would have to be Mickey, who has finished his session. It is only Dan that's going to be doing a lap now because Lucas did his final run just before this. If he had 4 warnings, we can't be for real. And he does go third as Dan, but by a huge margin away from Lucas in first place, who got a 28.5. That is an excellent lap from Lucas. I really do hope he one day clips his pole laps so I can see them, because I want to see what he's doing differently from everybody else. He looks rapid in qualifying. You can call Antosiu Anthony. Anthony? Like Anthony like that? Or is it Antony? I'm assuming it's Anthony, because he says Antony, unless it's Antonio. But that's the end of qualifying. Lucas gets pole position for the second time this season, I believe it would be. Oh, is it? Did he get pole? Yeah, they did get pole in Monaco. So pole in Monaco, it was Bonfim who got pole in the sprint race in Silverstone. The teammate who John mentioned earlier did not get a podium with him somehow at Williams. Now that's one of the biggest surprises I think I've ever seen on PL in terms of underperforming is Bonfim season 15 in Tier 1. That was crazy. At least he did well in Tier 2, those who know. Anyway, well, I wouldn't even say that, actually. I wouldn't even say that, Bonfim. I think Bonfim, while his quality laps were quicker in Tier 2 at times, Qatar, his race pace and consistency were abysmal, as they were in Tier 1 as well. He was robbed of victory a couple times in Season 15 Tier 1, but anyway, enough Bonfim hate. I don't actually hate Bonfim, I'm just saying. It's a shame we didn't see him do as well as he could have in Season 15, but He did very well in qualifying for the sprint last time out when I unfortunately missed the qualifying session. And he got pole, but pole today will go to Lucas from KP, who will controversially get second and likely get hit with a 10-second time penalty for the race that he cannot serve if those penalties and four warnings, as Ski mentioned, are official. Dan gets third position from Ski, the championship leader, in fourth. Mickey in fifth, then it's Jan, Krasik, Dervas, Hubert, Nizok, and then it's Anthony, Lil Gunnar, Harry, and Frosty. And we're going to restart the session, I'm assuming, for the who knows how many times. You know, actually, Dan, if you're watching this, you'd be the only person here to remember this. Do you remember Season 3 Baku? I think I looked at that recently. I genuinely do believe that had the most session restarts of any race ever in NPL, or maybe even any league history. Because why in the fuck were there, like, I think I counted 8 restarts? I'm not even exaggerating. We restarted the session 8 fucking times. There were 8 fucking, that means 7 failed attempts. The same thing happened in Season 5, by the way. It was Baku quality 25, except it wasn't qualifying. It was the fucking race we restarted. Qualifying was fine. The race was a mess. It was just constant crashing. I should make a compilation of all the failed start attempts in Baku Season 3, because it would be like an hour-long video. It's fucking hilarious. But yeah, that race was farcical. I ended up winning because Tice died in the final corner and Brett just had a skill issue for some reason, even though he got pole position by a huge margin. Because Brett was a quality merchant. He was basically the original DJ Lam, except he actually won races because he had 13 poles and 3 wins. So he missed out on 10 pole position conversions. The other 3 worked. Oh my god, what the fuck have I just seen? Oh, big start pile up on the formation lap. Holy shit, it's like Singapore 2017 all over again, but on steroids. More like Spa 1998 mixed with Singapore. Just a spoiler for real life when that happens. You'll see what I mean. I saw the script for F1 this season. I'm actually excited for the rest of F1 this season. Anyone in the chat have any predictions for F1's real life champion? In 2026, I think it will be Antonelli, but I think Hamilton. It is a lobby restart, yes. It is a restart. I've been told by Dan in qualifying it was meant to be a restart, so Ski and Hubert are the only people who are waiting on. Not sure why Ski is making this last forever. Does he not want to get to the race? I think he just doesn't like being here. I think KP should take my advice and take the quali disqualification for the restart, so he doesn't get the basically guaranteed 10-second unservable penalty he's going to get in his race, which would ruin his chances. And yes, he qualified second, but it is a rule that you can't cut all the corners to get pole. I don't think anyone saw what Lucas's pole lap looked like, but given he was ahead by half a second over someone who got 4 warnings, it's pretty crazy. Now, someone I'm a bit disappointed isn't racing today is Ease, because he was phenomenal in Silverstone. I don't know where the fuck his front-running pace came from, because he was genuinely quickest. Yes, restart, we're making it 9, that's what Dan says, and that is the gaffer, so you listen to what he says. I'm excited for this season. If we are, it should be customized with the same weather conditions, I agree. And I assume that is exactly what's going to happen. DSQing KP for qualifying, that is what I expected. 4 of those warning is ridiculous. Whether it will be custom, I assume it will be wet to dry, maybe even back to wet again. We'll see what the weather conditions are. Not sure what they say. I've not seen any telemetry, obviously, since I'm not actually in the session. So. But I'm watching. I'll be watching you. Where the fuck is my pick for my fucking guitar? Don't tell me I sat on it again. Oh, it's right there. I did sit on it. Well, that's good for you then, Dervas. I guess you get to go up an extra position from where you would have already been. You're now on P7 after qualifying. So the grid will officially be, I imagine, Lucas, Dan, Ski, Mickey, Jan, Krasik, Dervas, Hubert, Nizok, Anthony, Harry, and then I'm not sure where Lil Gunner's going to be, but I think then KP and Frosty bring up the rear. But here we go then for the what is definitely the legitimate race start of the Singapore Grand Prix, and we have Lil Gunner jumping the start, and it is going to be a red flag in about 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh my god, that was a horrible start crash. That was not a red flag any sooner, but I'd be surprised if there isn't now. And there it is. I fucking called it. I thought I could sync it up, but I guess I could. That's pretty close. I mean, maybe it was a red flag as soon as I said, but well, that was a horrible start crash. Another red flag, that's crazy. What are you guys doing? Like, just kill yourself so hard. Don't just crash for a tire, like. Yes, Nervous, that is exactly what's happening. How do you, what? Okay, so you know, I don't know if you guys knew this, but if you jump the start and hit someone before the race starts, you get disqualified instantly, which also disqualifies the person you hit. There's a double disqualification. Thank you, Nizak. Um, this is my my transition music while I wait for the fucking lobby to restart. That took way longer than it should have, bro. Please wait. Oh my god, Hubert wins the Singapore Grand Prix. What a performance. From Ski in second and Logano in third. Hubert gets 25 points for winning Demo Derby. That's what I'm saying. Give Hubert his win, bro. This guy won F2 on debut. 3 red flags. That is some serious red flags. What is the most red flags we've had in an NPL race? Because obviously old NPL races we have manual red flags, but how many was the most we ever had? It must have been like, it must have been 3, surely. Surely not more than 3. That would be ridiculous. But I think maybe 2 is the record in the modern NPL. So we had 2 red flags in a couple races. I can remember, like season 13 Vegas, season 15 Brazil, Tier 1. And some other, I think there was a race in Tier 2 that had 2 red flags. Dervas putting the Polish flag in honor of Hubert, who has won the race, and technically Krasik as well, but he doesn't want to race under his own flag for some reason. Who the fuck is Jan Karbowiak? Is that Krasik? Some Las Vegas race? Yeah, season 13 Vegas, as I said, that race had 2 red flags. I think another season had 2 red flags in Vegas as well. I'm not sure which race that was. Season 14 was cared about. It only had 1 red flag and then a safety car, I think it was. But yeah, season 15 Tier 1 Brazil had 2 red flags, one of which was for the horrible crash of, what's his name? Jan died in Turn 1, and it was the smallest crash ever, but somehow it was a red flag. And then there was that guy who was really cocky, who was pretty good actually, and then he just died. And retired. I forgot his name. That race was really good. Was that season 14? Sorry, yeah, season 14 Brazil. That's what I meant to say. Not season 15. Season 15 Brazil was very different. What even happened in that race? I don't remember. Oh yeah, it was in that dry to wet race where Gary dominated, but I went last to second or something. Tough mango. The winner takes it all. Yes, I remember. I wish I could show my phone screen. It is actually tweaking beyond belief. It's crazy. Oh well. What was I gonna do? I forgot what I was gonna do. Add, if I do first, do I get a medal? Yes, Harry, you get a medal. Um, you you have to beat. Yeah, you have to ask to start dead last so that you can beat Fabian's record at Singapore of going from was it 12th or 13th to first or something season 13. I think it was 12th to first or something like that. Pretty crazy. Fabian was a king of comebacks back in his prime. I miss prime Fabian. He was fucking goated, genuinely unstoppable in his heyday, which was very brief to be honest. 13th, you believe? Well, there was also Frosty, KP, and Logana who will probably start behind you, from what I gather. But I'm not sure how this works because if Logana's starting 11th in a 14-player lobby, you know what's going to happen. He's going to win the race. That's just a fact unless someone murders him. But with Frosty behind him, I don't think that's going to happen. Um, Waiting for the race to start, we have Lucas on pole position for the race from. He's 11. Who's 11? Logano. Scene 14 Fabian was a serial killer who bragged about killing people. Yes, bro. He was actually a serial killer. Season 14 Fabian needs to be studied. I wish I did like season 10 one race to see if I could beat him, but meh. I enjoyed commentating that whole season. Season 14 was absolute cinema. Anyone who hated that season, like Felix, is just not it, bro. Just because you underperformed at Haas, bro. Bro was actually straight buns in that season, I can't lie. Bro, how long does it take to sort the lobby out, bro? Come on now. Come on down. I haven't got all day. You guys get the joke. Where the fuck is my... Yes! Graham Crackers, mates! Graham Crackers! I'm glad that Graham Crackers has joined the session. Oh my god, it's warm in my room. I just realized. My window's open as well. I just also realized, which means the louder I am, the more my neighbors have reason to complain. Now, I'm going to play other things on my guitar while I wait for these fucking dudes to ready their fat asses up. What's funny is in playing guitar, I lost all my viewers. I went from having 5 viewers to one pretty quickly. That's quite funny. Oof. Yawn. I'm bored. You're the only real one, Nizok. My goats. The first round. Forget your setups, guys. You heard the man. Oh no, fucking ski disconnected. Well, I better fucking invite him straight away then. Get back in here. It's a wet race for the Singapore Grand Prix. Don't forget mine. Oh, we got Beefreeze online. I could invite him. Probably not going to race anyone, let's be real. Where is good old Jacob? There's someone at my door. Hold on a minute. I'll be right back. Oh, I missed the start. Well, that's great. What happened? What the... What happened? So Dan is first? Ski's 12th? Okay. Interesting. So there is Dan in first place and he's sliding around, but what on earth happened? Lil Gunner is already 5th place. Well, that is quite scary. This could be bad for everyone in front, knowing his pace. But it is Dan who leads from Lucas in second and Mickey in third. Sorry for missing the start, I had no idea the race had started. Oh, I forgot you're still disconnected. Oh, I can't see you online. Oh no, this is disaster for the championship leader who is disconnected from the session. Thankfully it's Singapore, so the chances of a safety car are very high, but the early chances of Ski now are basically gone. This is not good news for Ski, whose AI car is driving around the circuit. Oh, now he's on invite. I couldn't see you on the list, I couldn't invite you back, but here we go. A huge battle now of room between Logan, Jan, and Mickey. Right outside goes Logan on Jan. Will he make a move here? Could not do it, and that's pretty close up. Harry's right up to 7th as well, so he's having a great start as well. The car's starting at the back of the field. Where did he start from is my question. He started in 12th place, he's got 5 places. Logan's gone up 6 from 11th place. The only people that started behind them would have been Graham Crackers, Frosty, and KP, who all got disqualified or did not compete in qualifying. Oh, contact, and Jan might have hit the wall there. Contact again with Classic, and that's Chaos behind, and that is a virtual safety car. But for what is my question? Was there an incident in the back of the field as well? Because I don't see too much front wing damage on anybody here, but there definitely was an incident between a few of the midfield drivers here. Virtual safety car though for now. We don't have any big incidents going on, no retirements. Mickey has lost so much time now to the leading cars in these wet conditions. Now Logan loves the rain from what I've seen. The Barbadian driver continues his charge through the field. Jan pushes gun off, it's wet. Wow. Incredible stuff there. Great reasoning from Jan. Jan definitely was not in the right to do that. Should have given Logan some more space there. I think that was in the first act he was referring to, but the VSC continues to be deployed. Will Lucas get a better restart than Dan is the question, but Dan, having the start of a lifetime from second on the grid, moves up into first and is now ahead of Lucas, and that's big for his championship. He needs to get points back on his rivals. And KP gets a drive-through penalty. I think Mizzle did too, actually. Let's have a look. Yes, he did. And Ski has now rejoined, but he's 3.5 seconds off the pack. Logan there, surely he's going to overtake his teammate down the straight. Jan also in this train with Krasik behind. So too is Harry now. Harry's chasing down Krasik in the Ferrari. Could not make the move there in the rain. Of course, not the best conditions for Harry's driving style. But we've seen him do great drives in the rain before. Here comes Lil Gunner. KP ahead of Antonino. Antonio, whatever you want to say. Lil Gunner is right behind Mickey. Continues as well. Meanwhile, there he goes then, straight past, into third, ahead of his teammate. Will he make it easy for him? Surely he will, yes he does. Mickey, one of the only people to start on the inters this race, in fact he is the only one who started on the intermediate tyres, may come to regret this decision, as he is swallowed up by the pack. Watch out for Jan. Jan will put his car in a gap he shouldn't be. And there's Anthony battling with ground gappers, who has had probably his best performances at this circuit in Singapore. It's one of the best tracks. In this car, maybe not as much, because these cars are very different from the old ones. With their battery-centric nature, and Lucas there does not get the fast lap. Dan is pulling a gap out in front as he needs to stay ahead of Lil Gunner. The charge behind as he gets faster and Jan goes quicker. Jan is loving these conditions. Of course, he hasn't had to battle a teammate, but he is certainly looking pretty quick there out on track. Harry also now sends it on Classic. He's off the track. It's side by side through turn 3. Do it, and he's got damage. I did think it was true. Yeah, he did hit the wall. The Classic in the Haas. Harry there sliding his way into the right-hander. Mickey there being put under all sorts of pressure from Jan behind. Is Jan going to make a move here on the Mercedes driver into this corner now? Turn 5, no he can't. Harry there officially up to P6, now he's got up 6 places. Logan has got up 8. Race far from over here. We have a good chance for Harry to get himself on the podium. Logan is probably looking for the race victory here, but there's a big gap to make up. But Lucas has gained on Dan, and Logan is gaining on Lucas, so this could get interesting as the fight for the race lead now starts to get interesting at the front. Dan there in first place with Lucas behind. I'm so annoyed that I missed the start. I didn't know they'd turn off the formation light. I figured they'd have it. Someone knocked on the door. I couldn't think about that, but anyway, the front door, I mean, not just my room. What the hell's going on here in the midfield between Graham Crackers and Anthony, battling, going through the middle sector into the hairpin, and down this straight, Graham Crackers gets ahead. And Graham Crackers is now ahead of Anthony, but he's got Ski behind, who is starting to make up places. Dan gets the fast lap, and look how much the lap times are dropping. That was 4.4 seconds quicker than the previous fast lap, and Logano goes even faster. So you have to believe the track is drying up very, very quickly. The rain has lightened, which you should think would benefit Mickey in P4 on the intermediate tyres. He could genuinely make up a lot of positions here if he can keep his tyres in good condition, or if he has done, I should say. Could start to make inroads on the cars in front. Could be a genius master strategy from Mickey out in third place. Depends if the track dries from the intermediate weather very quickly, but even still, wet tyres on a wet track are ideal. Inters not so much, so the Inters will have won a little bit more, I assume, than the wet tyres, as they're working hard to get the car's traction and get his throttle inputs to be more compliant with the tyres. But I don't think that's happening so far for him, as he seems to be struggling to stay with his teammate. But then again, it is Logano. He is one of the fastest drivers we've ever seen in the league history, along with Gary. And let's see what he can do. Lucas was closing on Dan, has since fallen back about a good half a second here, as he's struggling to stay with Dan, who's looking very comfortable out in front with the wet conditions here. Now this will be a great story for Dan to make amends for season 14, when he was leading, dominating the race out in front, controlling the pace over Fabio behind, defending him for a long time. And then continue on his way until the rain hit, and that's when the race came undone for him. All after a big incident, a big collision between himself and John and Ski, I believe it was, in what was a great battle for position. Eventually Ski went on to win that race in what was his first career victory here at Singapore only 3 seasons ago. He's currently languishing down in 12th place. Logano there has gained exponentially on the top 2 cars. The gap is only 4.5 seconds to Dan out in front, and Dever hits from P9, I believe that was. And he's now coming to the pit lane in the Williams to make the first stop onto the intermediate tyres. Interesting strategy. Looks like KP followed him in, so trying something different. And this like has also pitted, but he is not gaining tyre. I think he's on his pause menu. That does not look like a person driving the car, I gotta say. I mean, maybe it is, you never know. Logano can see and smell his victories ahead. Look at Harry sends it on Jan. They've just caught that at the right moment. And they're still side by side now out of turn 7. Or turn 6, right? They're going to 7 now. Turn 6 and 7. You know what I'm talking about. Harry, that's the inside, going into the Singapore sling. Or what used to be the Singapore sling. Goes in deep there, and Jan goes back past. And Harry has to sit behind for just another moment. And this is costing Harry dearly in this race. They've lost 4 seconds to the back of Mickey. Harry sends it once again, but cannot get on all the brakes late enough to go past Jan. He's really struggling here on the wet tyres. In P5, he has not changed position from where he started, unlike the cars around him. Mickey also has not changed position so far, and he's running a lonely race in P4, 3.5 seconds behind his teammate and 4.5 ahead of Jan. But 4th place nonetheless for the Mercedes driver, having a nice day for himself. And Mercedes looking to get the most points of any team as it stands, I think. Maybe not. It's going to be very close though. No, it would be actually because of the fastest lap for Lil Gunner, and obviously Audi had the whole lap point. And now the gap between Dan and Lucas is pretty much the same as the gap between Lil Gunner and Lucas. So this could be very spicy out in front in the closing stage of this race. Or at least of this stint, I would say. Honestly, he's been closing at such a rate. I think it'll be pretty fucking soon if he does manage to get in front. Obviously, no battery, no overtake mode, I believe it is, the rule in these conditions. But it is too dangerous for these cars. Here comes Harry then. Jan, fucking hell. Jan in front. I was wondering why the battery levels are similar. So this is probably wet conditions is where the actual real pace of the drivers is shown. No battery tricks up their sleeve. I think this proves a point though. Obviously it is wet conditions, but I would say Lucas has got probably some of the best battery usage of anyone on the entire grid. And Dan has struggled in the first two races in the dry conditions, but in the wet, where the battery is not quite, or isn't really a factor at all, Dan is looking very fast today, so you have to wonder. Look at that though, the wheel spin. He really does seem to be struggling to get power down you. Why not short shift? He's so much more reliable in that position. Ruin your tyres, you get on the power quickly. It should be an instinct if your car starts wheel spinning to shift gears. Especially by now, but nevertheless. The only close battle on track, closest battles I should say, are Harry and Jan, and then Lil Gunner and Lucas. I'd say they have pretty even pace advantages against their opponents in front, so let's see what these two can do in their battle for position. Of course, Harry battling for 5th, Lil Gunner battling for 2nd. And Lil Gunner once again gets the fast lap of the race by half a second. This is looking pretty damning for the top two, as Lil Gunner closes the gap to the first position now to just 3 seconds. As Dan will hope that Lucas can hold him up as much as humanly possible and prevent Lil Gunner from winning this race and getting himself in the championship fight. As I know for a fact winning this race would put him as a championship contender this season. Lil Gunner looking to go for his first title on NPL. I reckon he still can. Don't write him off just because he has to start last every race. Wouldn't it be impressive if he managed to do that? Starting last in the standings, going to first would be fantastic stuff from him. Lil Gunner then in 3rd place continues on his way with Lucas in 2nd. But Lucas is going to hold up Lil Gunner here. The problem is, when you have an advantage in tyre life, it does get pretty difficult to defend in the wet conditions. Let's see what Harry's looking like. Right behind Jan, not looking like he's going to do anything here, but Lil Gunner setting up for a move on the next straight potentially. He can get a good exit. Interesting way he managed to minimise the wheel spin with just a slightly less aggressive throttle input, I'm assuming, than what Dan was doing last lap, as you saw. The same gear, just so much smoother on exit. Surprised he doesn't short shift more, and look at this, he's not even going to try and defend. Not sure why. Oh no, he's gone wide. Has Lucas here, and he cannot fend off the advances from Lil Gunner. I don't know why he didn't try defending to the inside. It was definitely worth a shot, but now he's going to struggle to get back past Lil Gunner as he has a huge pace advantage. The gap is now only 3.1 seconds between Lil Gunner and the race leader. Mickey though, now this is huge for the race. On the intermediate tyres, you have to believe the inters are coming back in his favour here, as he just got the fastest out of the race in 4th place by himself. He has lost time in the first chicane, but I think his traction could prove to be a little bit better than the cars in front because of those intermediate tyres. Now this could give him a chance to get a double Mercedes podium for the first time for the outfit in a long time. I can't remember the last time Mercedes got a double podium actually in NPL history. Couldn't have been since 15, I think. I'm not sure if Dan and Zombie got a double podium at some point. I think they did. I certainly did get a podium. I think it's actually been. Have Mercedes ever got a double podium in NPL history? I'll have to look in my old notes. I don't have them available to me anymore because I had to wipe my phone, but I do have them on my computer where I backed up the files. Meanwhile, Frosty is in the back of Ski. I assume Ski just overtook him. Ski is on the charge in the wet conditions. We know he's very good in the rain, so this could be a good day for him to make a comeback. The championship leader set back by his internet. What you could argue is basically the online racing equivalent of reliability issues. The only thing that will hold back Ski in this championship fight. He's since got a hold of those issues and is now fighting for the top 8. And look at this, Lil Gunner, just clinical here today. He's a second quicker than Dan the Slap alone. Over a second, I'd say. Just far more accurate and precise inputs. This is what Lil Gunner does. He is just absolutely dominant in these conditions. And this gets 3 seconds despite being running literally near no one. Dervas is on the back of Anthony here. Lil Gunner once again gets the fast lap of the race. Harry there right behind Jan for P5 still. He just cannot find a way by the Audi driver. The battle of the TC, I'd say, that is. And Mickey has gained about half a second on Lucas this lap. So, Lucas really struggling in the rain today. He's going to hope for a change of conditions sometime soon. And look at this, 3 cars pit. You have Krasik, Ski, and Frosty coming in at the same time. Let's see, what's Ski going to... Is he going to want to Inters? That's the question. Oh, he lagged on my screen. That's not good. Surely it'll be Inters. He can't go on dries yet. No chance. Yes, he does indeed go onto intermediate tyres. I think he's seen that Mickey is looking quick in these conditions, and the intermediate tyres is now going to try out for himself. He will undercut many people by doing this, I'm assuming, because the pace on the inters should be extremely fast, because Mickey, who is not ordinarily quicker than Lucas, is about a few tenths a lap quicker in these conditions on the intermediate tyres, and they are on 9-lap-old inters, which you would imagine are not quite as durable as the pretty thick-treaded wet tyres when in the optimal conditions, but because these are not optimal conditions for the wet tyres, they are wearing like crazy. And Dan, it's only a matter of time before he has to fend off the advances of Lil Gunner and Freddy, which could provide an opportunity for a rival to undercut him in the heated battle. Wink wink Lucas, maybe even Ski, if he can manage to make up such a huge amount of time. But given that he's on the other side of the track, on the verge of getting lapped, I highly doubt that's going to happen. But I wouldn't say on the verge of getting lapped, but he's certainly quite far back. He's about half a lap behind, which is not a lot. It's pretty hard to make up that sort of time. It's a good like 40 to 45 seconds behind, I'd say. That's crazy. Mickey though has made up another about 7/10 of a second on Lucas on the intermediate tyres, and that is showing the inters are easily the best tyre now. I think Dan should pit for inters, to be honest. I know it might be hard, but I think he's trying to wait for the rain to stop. It's a risk worth taking, I'd say. If you can stay out on the wet tyres on the intermediate track, it's better off doing that than pitting too early for inters and having to pit again for the dry tyres. It's just not worth it. But Dan there under immense pressure from Lil Gunner, who is literally over a second a lap quicker, 1.2 seconds a lap faster the last 3 laps in a row, pretty much, give or take. Despite his battle with Lucas, he still was a lot quicker than Dan that lap, and then continued to close in the gap. In all the essential traction zones, it looks like he's just so much more comfortable in these conditions. Hubert now pits for inters. This is a big part in this race. Should come out ahead of Dervas, though he doesn't. So Dervas has undercut Hubert, and that's huge for his race, and Krasik has undercut him too. Will Ski get ahead of Hubert? Yes, I think he might just about go around the outside. Oh, he gets beached on the curb, and he does just manage to get in front of the Cadillac driver, the championship leader going into this race. Oh, here's a battle for lead. Side by side into the hairpin. Is it going to be a switch back from Lil Gunner? Yes, it is. And you'd imagine he'll get past, but it's side by side for the race lead down the straight. This is a battle for the race lead between Lil Gunner and Dan. Who's it going to be for the race lead? Here he sends it to the outside. This is probably what Lucas was concerned about going into the chicane, because Lil Gunner can just brake so late, and he does go around the outside. Will he make it stick? That'd be a fantastic move if he does. But it's still side by side. Dan's not making it easy for him. And they're side by side, and this is costing them time, but Mickey's within a second now, half a second even, of Lucas in third place. He's now arguably in the fight for the race lead very soon, especially if he can dispatch. But Lil Gunner now takes the lead and pits, and Dan does too. Now Mickey will stay out. Now that is a smart decision. I would do the same in his position. If you can stay out, and he gets the fastest lap of the race. Now that's interesting. Obviously Lil Gunner probably would have under normal circumstances, but see, Dan will come out behind Lil Gunner, but will at least be on the intermediate tyres. I don't know why you would pit at this point, honestly. I know it's the wets, but like, I think Mickey's could generally pull off a master stroke. Imagine if Mickey wins the race. Wouldn't that be a phenomenal performance from the Mercedes driver, who is just keeping it nice and cool? If he can somehow hit, hope that the dry conditions come sooner rather than later. Oh, and it's a VSC. If it came a bit later, he could have pitted and maintained the lead. That would have been massive for Mickey's race. And you know he has the pace, because on the inters he was getting fastest lap after fastest lap, despite rivals who were arguably quicker. who were, like ordinarily they are, who were on fresh tyres as well, like Ski for example, but I think he couldn't quite do a fastest lap attempt in time. Now Harry's up to P3, trying to get himself into this race. He's getting stuck behind Jan for God knows how long, and KP has left the session. I think he was the reason the VSC came out. No, he wasn't. He's disconnected. I'll have to invite him back if I can. I'm not sure if I have him added. I don't know who the fuck that is, but I joined back immediately, so that must have been a brief issue. It is only a VSC though. I'm not sure who caused it. Is it Nizok? I mean, he has damage, I think, on the right side. Yes, he does. Don't see any wings missing. Could it be from a major contender? I think so, but Dan is right behind Low Gunner here during the VSC, trying to stay with him. If the VSC stayed out for longer, maybe Mickey could have pitted, but I don't think it's worth it anymore. Is he going to pit? No, he does not. That's a good idea. I agree with that's a good idea. There's like not only got 3 seconds for track limits, he then gets to drive through the speeding in the VSC again. He did already at the start of the race, now he's done it again. Dan did not get as good of a restart as Little Gunner, but look at this, Lucas is right behind Dan now once again. And the championship rivals all battling amongst themselves. Little Gunner, Dan, Lucas, with Ski now not as far behind, but still with a huge gap. Oh, what the fuck is this? Three-way fight for P9 on track between Ski, Frosty, and Hubert. What can Ski do now in the battle for ninth? He goes to the inside of the Alpine driver. Maybe some contact there, but Hubert with some robust defending managed to stay in front. But Ski is very foreboding in these conditions. Dead flags. That's Nizok. And he's hit the wall. He's done exactly what Sonoda did in F1 back in 2024. And he lets past Mickey in first place, but I think he has no front wing. He has definitely got a lot of damage on that Williams. Oh, goes over the curve, hits the wall again. He's really struggling today. Hits the wall one more time. I think he's going to cause a safety car any moment now. It's only a matter of time. KP disconnects once again as Anthony pits from P14. And Logan extends his net race lead unless, of course, the track dries, and then it will all be in Mickey's favour so he could pit and retain the lead by a huge margin. Because Logan would have to pit too, staying out on it would not be worth it in that situation. This is probably, in terms of length of the race, this is probably going to be the longest race of the season. Maybe besides Monaco, but I would say this will be longer. And Dan, that's crucial for the championship, gets 3 seconds. Interesting. Mickey will get to another fastest lap. The question is, will Logana beat it? You have to believe he will. Let's see about how much. It's a 46.4 to beat for Logana. How much quicker is the Mercedes driver? You have to believe it's a lot faster. Probably a couple seconds. Yes, it is. 45.3 is 1.1 seconds a lap faster, so he's got to hope those dry conditions come as soon as possible. Does Mickey? The race is forecast to dry up at some point. But it might be for not for a long time now, but again, 4 times quicker in the first sector. Mickey knows he has the best chance he's ever had to give the team a 1-2 here today. If he can just make this strategy work, a split strategy that could prove incredibly beneficial to the Mercedes driver. But Dan, when he's fighting for a championship, gets 3 seconds when he did not need to worry about anything. He had nowhere to go in front. Logana was way quicker anyway. Instead, he has made a mistake at a crucial time in his career. And Lucas is actually being held up by Dan because you can see... Actually, that's not true. Never mind. He did improve on that sector, but it's a matter of how much quicker is he than Mickey out in front. Dan, though, struggling to stay ahead of Lucas currently. Classic there, closing back on Devas. He's on very old inters, but he's just driving a fantastic race today. If the race continues as it is, and there is no drying of the track, Devas is genuinely in a net P4 right now. This is a great performance from him. Well, net P5, I'd say. That's still P5 for the Williams driver, who slides around there. Get power down. The cockpit cam merchant. And Ski there still frustrated behind Hubert, trying to get past. This is big for his championship. It's one of some of his main rivals are just running away out in front. Lucas and Dan continuing on their way. But Dan's race is not over. If he serves that 3 seconds, he's back in the race. We know the track's likely to dry up at some point. It is getting lighter, that rain, but still is raining down. And it is Lil Gunner with the fastest lap of the race so far. Once again, as he reaches Harry now on the outside. Harry, though, will defend. Pushes Lil Gunner off the track. Be an illegal overtake for Lil Gunner. And it is, I think. It is. It was illegal. And that means Harry stays in front, but Harry lets him pass. But that means Dan's now back on his case, and he moves out of the way, does Harry there. Nothing to really defend. He's on a different strategy to these guys. He's not in the fight for the race win. It's safe to say. Only, though, if it does dry up and he can stay with these guys, he is definitely in with a chance to win. Because in the dry, Harry is rapid here at Sigmapore. He does let past Lucas now. The wet tyres proving not to be the best option to start on in this race. Look how much Jan is losing out to Mickey out in front. Mickey is flying out in front at the moment. Despite being on 14 lap of up intermediate tyres, he has done almost half the race distance. He is still keeping the tyres in good conditions, and he has a 21-second lead over his teammate. This is a great drive from the Polish driver. As he runs away on the lead of the Mercedes. If he won this race, he would be, in Tier 1 at least, only the third different Polish winning driver in NPL after Max Abshank. Hubert, of course, won F2 and in Tier 2, but not in Tier 1. So he would also be the third winner. In that case, the fourth different winner would be for overall NPL history. If Mickey could win the race today. I don't think I'm missing anybody. I do have a feeling I've missed someone who's Polish or something. Lil Gunner on Jan now. A clinical switchback. Beautiful move there from Lil Gunner on those fresher tyres. Pushes Jan wide. Jan and him have some history here. There comes Dan, though. Dan's in this fight for the lead once again. Net race lead. Of course, the penalty will be quite damning for him. And of course, Dan and Jan have history in these conditions. As he slides around trying anything to get past the Audi driver. Gives him space and he gets past. Harry onto dries. Now, this is what we want to see. A gamble. I think that's a terrible decision. This is it's giving Canada Season 14. It's giving probably a bunch of Brazil Season 14, I guess. It's now officially a Mercedes 1-2. Look at that. I really do hope it dries up because Mickey would win the race, I think. There's no way even Lil Gunner's pace can make up a 21-second gap. Because he's barely gaining on him. He's barely gaining on his teammate. Considering he's on 11 lap fresher tyres and it's Lil Gunner. It's incredible the job that Mickey's doing out in front. This is by far the best driver of his career, in my opinion. Phenomenal racing. And once again, as John says, Harry, you buffoon. He's now not only stuck in traffic, but on the dry tyres on a wet track. He's losing time to Frosty, who's in a train of his own, so this is just a bad sign. It's good data for the other drivers, though, who will see now what the conditions are like. But this race is far from over. I still think if the track doesn't dry up soon, Lil Gunner has a very good chance of winning this race. And is probably the favourite to do so as of right now, but KP disconnects again as I say that. I should say though that Ski has finally managed to dispatch of Hubert and is now setting his sights after Classic in 7th place as he gets in the power a little bit too angled away from the exit of the corner as Lil Gunner once again gets the fastest lap of the race. Out in front with Dan falling away in 2nd and Lucas hot on his tail in 3rd. And Jan finally pits. For what tyre though is the question. Please don't go on to dries, Jan. It's not worth it. They should have just fucking waited, man. Like, I know it's old tyres and all, but come on now. Oh, hards? Are you serious, Jan? Fucking hell, man. So what are you doing? Harry has a penalty, by the way. I don't know where that came from. Probably a track limits penalty. Yeah, it is. And he's going to come behind Ski. That's not good. Ah, yeah, Ski up to 7th. That's good for Ski, though, because that's probably one of the hardest people to overtake. For all the wrong reasons. Out of his way now. Hubert will also make quick work of Jan in the Audi. Probably a driver who, at this point, should be in Tier 2. If we still had it, that is. Oh, God, what is this? Hubert and Frosty... Oh, is this going to be an intentional crash? Mark my fucking words. Seeing Hubert and Frosty. That'd be really funny if there was, because... Just typical. What the fuck have I just seen? 3 wide. Oh my god, it's giving Season 14. Just like when John, Dan, and Ski crashed in that exact place, in that exact formation. They're still battling. Jan is battling on hard tyres. He's undercut Harry, by the way. That's fucking crazy. Still, Mickey presses on out in front, and you gotta hope he doesn't get a puncture or something, because that would ruin what has been otherwise an incredible performance. He's still like almost 2 seconds a lap slower than Lil Gunner though. 2.5 even. He's way slower than Lil Gunner. Way slower than his teammates. So classic though, he couldn't barely keep up with Dervas. He was just driving an incredible race. Of course, he's in the wet conditions. This is where he loves to be. When he's at one with just the chassis, no battery involved, he is an incredible driver as Dervas. We've all seen it before, especially in wet conditions. As the track slowly dries up, eventually, surely it will. You have to believe Mickey's in a position to get at least a podium today. The only situation where I think he wouldn't contend for a podium is if his tyre pops and he has to pit. I think he should drive until his tyre pops. There's no reason not to take that risk. Because if he's right about that risk and the rain stops, he will win the race. Just straight up, he will win this race. Even Lil Gunner with his supreme pace, there's no way he can beat a 17.5 second gap in dry conditions. And look at this. Jan and Graham Crackers battling away for P10. Jan has made the wrong decision, it would be fair to say, on those hard tyres. Harry, though, has not done much better. Being on not only a tyre that barely lasts that long on the dry conditions, but also in wet conditions. And you can see he's almost spinning right there. He's now driving alone in 12th, unfortunately. And his race has come undone. But no battles on track currently. Lil Gunner gets the fast lap once again. Now Mickey, I like to see what his pace is compared to Lil Gunner. Let's have a look at the first sector splits between these two on this lap. Oh no, and that's ruined Lucas's race. Now that's big for the race because Lucas was going to get past Dan. Now there's no way that's happening. This is proving to benefit Mickey even more now. You know what? If Mickey pitted for instance now, I think he generally would overtake all of the top three. Oh, yellow flags. Is that Krasik? No, it's not. It's Anthony. He went off. Is he going backwards? No, he's not. I thought he went backwards for a second. Anthony went off there from 14th. I thought there was going to be a safety car. I would pit for dries, honestly. I think it's worth the risk if there's a safety car to pit for dries. If it was a red flag, that would definitely be time to dry tyres, because by the time we restart, it would be dry anyway. But that's the first stolen the cars for Lil Gunner, or at least 11th of her. For us to get past Hubert. Hubert's been a bit of a cork in the bottom of the midfield today. And Ski continues to charge after Krasik and Dervas in front. He's gained about 3 seconds on those guys, or 2.5 certainly, in the last sort of 5 laps or so. So Ski does look very quick. He's trying to desperately find some wetness. Hold on, I think it stopped raining. It's very light now. This is where I would debate going on to dry tyres very soon. I give it literally a lap and I think it'll be dry. This is crazy. No way. I think Mickey could actually win. If there's no safety car, I am convinced that we will see a new race winner today. From Mickey, as long as he doesn't bin it in a wall. Dry tyres are on the cards here. This is very fascinating. Now Mickey should pit. I think Mickey should pit either this lap or next lap. I reckon if he boxes lap 21, he's won the race. I genuinely think medium tyres, he's won. There's no way. Because there's obviously fresh softs are available too, so even if there was another late safety car, he'd still win. So I think the only chance he wouldn't win is if he pitted before his teammate and then it was a safety car. That's the only way he wouldn't win. Under green flag conditions though, Mickey has a 14-second buffer to his teammate, and they'd have to double stack anyway. Even though they're so far apart on track, the game does it anyway. Dervas pits. That is a smart decision from him. Another undercut attempt from him. He goes into medium tyres. He was probably listening to what I was saying. It stopped raining, and we'll see now the data. Watch Jan. Is he closing in on the cars around him? Now Jan is driving very cautiously, so it's definitely still wet on track, but the dry conditions are closing in. This poses a serious question here for Mickey. Is it worth pitting? The lap times, I would say, are not good enough to justify pitting for the dry tyres just yet. I think give it an extra lap, maybe 2. Just make sure you can pit and you know, contend for the lead. I think he should wait for his teammate to pit. That might sound like a big risk, because Lil Gunner will make up probably a few seconds on the undercut, but I still think it's better to do that than to stay out. Lil Gunner here, as it stands, probably is about to get fastest lap, which is a good telling sign that the dry conditions are approaching. Yes, he does. Now, let's have a look at drivers who've just pitted. Dervas just pitted, and I think he just got 3 seconds. He is struggling in the dry conditions here. And Lucas had a Dan! Oh, because Lucas stayed out and Dan pits from 3rd place. That's interesting. That is a smart call, I'd say. Probably not worth it, to be honest. I still think it's not quite dry enough. But honestly, Dan needs to take a risk. He won't lose much. He's serving his penalty as well. He does serve the penalty. 3 seconds is served for Dan. Lucas will likely do the same when he pits. Krasik may also do so if he does pit soon. But I do think it's still too wet to pit just yet. I think everyone in the world wants Mickey to win this race. Please don't hold him up, Nizzo. Nizzo, if you love me, you won't hold up my boy, Mickey, out in front. Yes! Fucking love you, bro. Literally the second... Oh, no. Oh, yeah, because he went off. Oh, he crashed? No way, hit the wall doing that. Oh, and he goes past... He gets lapped by KP, who's 13th. That's crazy. Changes of position in the pit lane. Frosty now ahead of Hubert. That's good for him. Might have done that in the pit entry, actually. But they're all pitting for dries, and it's going from back to front here, which is what we expected. Lucas is 10 seconds behind Lil Gunner. That's how much quicker Lil Gunner is in these conditions. Crazy. I think one more lap, and Mickey should pit. He should wait for his teammate, to be honest. Just guaranteeing himself. I think Lil Gunner's doing this on purpose, just eking out the advantage of having fresher tyres, meaning he doesn't have to worry about his teammate. There's a high chance his teammate's going to pop a tyre before he pits. In these conditions, his tyres are barely anything at this point. But Dan, is he closing in on Ski? He's really struggling to get traction here, but he is so close to the dry conditions. I still think it's not time. Harry gets 3 seconds now on the dries. I don't think it was the right call to box. Look at all the penalties. You can tell that's because the drivers are struggling to stay on the track in these conditions. Yellow flags are out. Oh, there's a car off in the wall, was that? It is. Is that Graham Crackers? No, it's not. Who was that? Was that Ski? Can't be. Was it Krasik? Who was that? Oh, big incident. Was that someone? That's a Williams off. It's Nizok again. He's gone straight on at turn 5. And we are now seeing dry tyres are not the tyre to be on in these conditions. This is terrible news for the drivers who pitted. And we've seen Jan was still losing out to Graham Crackers. He's having to cut the chicane. He gets another 3-second time penalty. It is not worth pitting at this stage. The track may look dry, but it's deceiving. We've seen this before, especially on this game, with these cars. Despite going off there, Jan's fastest lap was still 3 times quicker than he's ever done on that lap. On the hard tyres. Harry is really struggling here. He can't keep it with Dervas. There's no grip on track. And look at this, Ski's already caught up to Krasik. And you have to believe now that Ski may actually come out ahead of Dervas and Jan if he pitted now by a comfortable margin. But I say dry conditions will hit the track in about 2 laps. I think 2 laps time I'd pit for medium tyres. Maybe even the soft, just because why not? You know what I mean? It's only a few laps. The softs do really die at this track, but with such a short amount of time, you might actually stop yourself from getting undercut by a driver on fresh medium. And that's all you need is to just give yourself some distance. That's more important than having the outright pace. And Frosty goes past Harry. Harry's having a nightmare of a race today. This is not going his way. Overtaken by his reserve driver teammate, who wasn't his. And Graham Crackers has disconnected from 7th place. Inviting him back immediately. He doesn't need an invite, but he probably should use it. Ski trying desperately to find some wet track to cool his tyres down. Jan gets another 3-second time penalty, and the gap for the lead is now under 10 seconds. as Lil Gunner continues his charge after his teammate. I still think Lil Gunner can win this race. I mean, honestly, you could stay out to the end, to be honest. At this rate, Lil Gunner would probably still overtake Mickey for the lead, but I think Mickey's only real chance of winning here is if it dries up. It's really hard to say. Because obviously Lil Gunner's biggest advantage, biggest asset, is the fact that he's just really good with his steering inputs and his throttle inputs. He's quite efficient. But when you bring the battery into it, it gets a little bit more chaotic, and it gives you a chance to make up time on him and keep that gap to him a little bit more, spaced out. But that's not to say Lil Gunner's bad at preserving his battery. Yellow flags are out again for a Haas, I think that is. And it is, once again, Anthony in the same corner as before. I think he locked up and went straight on. Lil Gunner gets fast lap once again with a 42.8, and he's sliding everywhere, is the Haas driver. Graham Crackers has pitted, his AI car's pitted anyway for hards, which was a horrible decision. The conditions are difficult, but I do actually think it is slightly better to go and drive. I don't know anymore. He's still losing to Ski. If Ski's smart about this, he could genuinely just go to the end on the inters and just finish the race. You know what? I think that's what Lil Gunner's going to do. Because I just realised Lil Gunner doesn't even have to pit. There is no reason to pit from the lead if Mickey does pit. So I think Mickey's only chance of winning is to just stay out to the end. And Nizot retires in the pit lane. That was not a safety car, and Ski has now pitted. Interesting. Now, I would not have done that in his position. I would have stayed out to the end on the inters. I think at this point, unless you can't, you may as well stay out to the end at this point. Mickey could genuinely go the entire race distance on one set of intermediate tyres. That would be absolutely insane. How his tyres haven't popped yet is actually a miracle. I have no idea how he's doing this. It looks like he has to eat so he retired. You're eating at fucking 10 PM? It's 20 past 10. Oh, what is going on here in the first... What the fuck happened in Sector 1? I saw a car go off there. There's a bit of a congestion here as Krasik pits and comes out. Oh, and immediately you saw Ski got that 3 seconds. He's now 15 seconds behind his teammate. Why did he pit? Why on earth would you pit in this situation? Harry gets another 3 seconds. Mickey pits! Oh, and who was that? That was Dan spinning. Lil Gunner gets the fastest lap, and Mickey now pits from the lead. For soft tyres, interesting. That is probably the best choice he could have made. Will he come out ahead of Lucas? Lucas pits too. So now Lil Gunner's only chance of winning is to just go to the end, I think. Which I think he will do, because I think he has good pace, to be honest. I don't see the point in pitting. Despite being on intermediates, he's still getting the fastest lap after a fastest lap. So Mickey has to hope and pray that it has dried up enough now to where he can just go to the end. He had to pit, surely, because his tyres would have been fried. I think this is a Lil Gunner win, to be honest with you. And it's Lucas who'll be on the podium at this rate. Graham Crackers finally rejoins the session. Mickey, please don't bin this. Just get second and call it a day. I don't think he physically could have gone any further into this race on those tyres. That was an incredible stunt for Mickey. And he's now put himself in position to get second place. Off of brilliant strategy alone. The only driver to start on the inters. That was a Sigma strategy, just like Fabian in Season 14 Canada. That was very smart from Mickey. Made an incredibly aggressive but thoughtful strategy work. I had to hope that it would be green flag conditions the whole race, but it was, and he has benefited from this, to say the least. But as expected, Lil Gunner is continuing to eke out the gap in front because it is simply not dry enough yet. Lil Gunner can now just simply pit from the lead and retain it. He doesn't need to though, because the inters, if they can go 24 laps, they can go 13. They can certainly go another 5 laps. So, see, look at that, another fastest lap from Lil Gunner there. But Mickey is lighting up the timing screens now, just a little bit. Yellow flags are out again. Another car, is that Jan? See, lap Anthony, who's gone off once again in the same place. God, these penalties are going to be a mess to keep track of. I have no idea who served the penalty and who hasn't. Lucas gets another 3-second time penalty. He has the perfect middle sector though. And Mickey has gained a little bit on Lil Gunner now. Thing is, he will probably not gain as much as... I don't think he'll gain this much. Lil Gunner's probably going to go for the win here. Knowing him. It does not go easy on anybody. But Mickey is actually closing in on Lord Gunner in front. Overtake has not been enabled yet though, which is a big part of this race. I think that is probably the universal indicator that the track is actually dry. But right now it's definitely at the crossover point, I'd say, where the dries are definitely as quick as the inters, if not quicker. As you can see, they definitely are quicker by now. In the hands of Mickey in second place, as he continues on his fastest lap attempt here. Now he would definitely come out in front of his teammate if he pitted, but I don't think he will, because there's literally no point in pitting at this stage. But he is closing in a lot on his teammate. He's gained 1.3 seconds on this lap alone. 1.4, 1.5, 1.6, 1.7 momentarily. He went right a little bit deep into the corner and he's now lost a bit of time on the exit. And straight mode and boost has been restored. That is the sign to pit, and he does, and Lil Gunner pits from the lead. And that's going to give Mickey the race lead, surely. Now that is interesting. Now this is going to cause an incident, I'm assuming, because realistically there's a chance someone's going to get murdered here. And Mickey has a chance to get his first career victory in NPL, as I predicted he would. 3 winners in 3 races. 3 teams is potential here, if Mickey can stay in the lead for the final few laps of this race. Mickey gets the fastest lap by a massive margin and breezes past his teammate as he's undercut his teammate for the race lead. And now Lil Gunner has it all to do with just 4 laps remaining, 5 laps remaining. Will he win this? Obviously, I know for a fact he was doing that to give him the win. Because I think, logically, Lil Gunner knew he could have gone to the end of the race on the inters and won the race. That was very realistically going to be what would happen. But he only has a 5.4. How has he gained on him? Was it on the out lap for Mickey where he gained time? This race isn't over yet. I think Lil Gunner can still win on track. Mickey has it all to do. It's a Mercedes battle here in Singapore. There's literally no other battles on track. Frosty gets another 3-second time penalty. What is a penalty championship here? Don't forget about that. Going in on 4 laps to go next time by. We're going to have to gain 5 seconds on Mickey out in front, but he's doing that already. Look how much he's gaining. A 2-lap tyre offset on the softs is massive at this track. It's a perfect middle sector for Lil Gunner, and he is looking so rapid on those soft tyres. Look how much he's gaining on his teammate. You have to believe Lil Gunner is going to try and fight tooth and nail for this race victory. I'm honestly taken aback. I think he honestly believes, and as he's proving, that he could hit and come out and then overtake his teammate on track. It's going to be another purple sector for Lil Gunner. Yes, it is. So it's a 39.5 for Mickey there in front. Let's watch Lil Gunner on this lap. I assume this will be his fastest lap time. And Lil Gunner gets 3 seconds! My goodness! That is exactly what Mickey needed to win this race. That was the risk. And look at Lucas in third. He is rapider now. Holy shit! Lucas is by far the fastest driver on the track right now. My goodness. On the medium tyres, has a huge pace advantage over everybody else. He was 2 seconds quicker than Mickey there. Yellow flags are out again. It's a Haas, I think. And it is once again Anthony there. In a different place this time. And now Graham Crackers gets 10 seconds for corner cutting. This race still isn't over yet. I still think Mickey can fumble this somehow. He needs to use more battery, to be honest. Please, Mickey, use your battery. It's the only time you can. Lil Gunner is flying right now. Has Mickey got damage or something? Why is he so tentative? He's pushing now. He's got straight mode. Obviously, it's been enabled. He's got overtake available. Oh, sorry, no, he hasn't. He's just trundling along his way. Lucas is gaining on the top 2 cars. Obviously, he's way too far back to make anything happen, but you have to believe if Lucas had contended today in purely dry conditions, he probably would have won this race. Because his pace in these conditions is blisteringly fast. And he's pulling away from Dan like I've never seen before. Dan made an absolutely abysmal strategy call today, has to be said. Which cost him a chance there. And now Lil Gunner is within a second of his teammate. If Mickey can hold him off for just a couple straights, I reckon he's got this in the bag, you know. Yeah, flags are out again. Why would you let him by? No, Mickey. You could win the race. What are you doing? Mickey, bro, come on. Oh, Anthony retired. He's out of the race. Crashed, I think. Harry would have seen it. What the fuck happened? Graham might see his car, maybe? No? It's gone. It's always gone when I try and fucking see it. Oh. Lil Gunner's probably going to win now. It's a shame. Why? Oh, that's so annoying, man. Mickey, why did you give away your chance to get your first career win? You deserved a chance. I know your teammate's quicker, but like, come on now. That's really annoyed me. That's ruined what otherwise could have been a really interesting end to the race. There's no way Mickey can stay within 3 seconds of Lil Gunner's pace. That's just not happening. I don't want him to give him the win either. Like, I wanted to see an actual fight for the lead with 3 seconds involved. That would have been very interesting, but instead, no. Mickey has just fumbled his chances of winning the race. At least now we have a three-way fight brewing here for 9th place between Dervas, Hubert and Harry. Of course, Harry being very fast in the dry around here. Hubert also looks very quick. Dervas struggling in these conditions, contact in the braking zone. Dervas brakes in late. Harry's right on the tail of Hubert. Lil Gunner gets faster and brakes 3 seconds, crucially. Yeah, flags are out. Who was that? It's Lil Gunner. Oh, I see. Lil Gunner went for a fastest lap attempt and then gives Mickey the race win back. Now, what kind of papaya rules is that? And Lucas beats it anyway. Lucas is absolutely rapid here at Singapore tonight. I've never seen him this fast. He's so much for... Like, what is he on, man? He's just gapped Dan by 5 seconds in 3 laps in the dry. What the fuck? Lucas is fucking ridiculously fast at Singapore. You have to believe, genuinely, he would have won this race if it was just a completely dry race, without any debate, in my mind. He is rapid right now. He's struggling so much in the dry, but he's so fast. Oh, sorry, struggling so much in the wet, but he's so fast in the dry. What on earth? Hold on a minute. Ski could overtake Dan here. Now that throws a spanner in the works. Now Dan has served his 3 seconds. I know for a fact Ski has not served his most recent 3-second penalty, so this is not over for Dan. I mean, I could check actually. When did he pit? When was Ski's last penalty? Look at all those penalties, my god. Lap 24. That was definitely within his pit stop time. And you got another one. And then you got a penalty again, lap 27. Yeah, Luke, that's the Lil Gunner there. Goes back. I think he's going for a fast lap attempt once again. Look at Lucas. My god. Lucas is ridiculously fast. As we enter the final lap, he's literally gained 5 seconds on the top 2. What the fuck is he on, man? This is crazy. Lil Gunner wants that fastest lap though, he will do anything for it. Lucas isn't even going for fastest lap attempts, he's just that much quicker than everyone else by the looks of it. Ski versus Dan here, it's the Cadillac teammates, the championship rivals. Ski goes in deep. Now Ski has penalties, so this is not a big deal for Dan to lose track position. Krasik, what a comeback, to come back to P6 out of nowhere. You're on P7, where did he come from? The hards have proved useful in the end of this race. But Mickey looks like he's going to win his first career victory here. He might get in the way of his teammate on his fast lap attempt though. That might be a problem, isn't it? He can't really move out of the way. Oh, he does. Good stuff there from Mickey, who just needs to stay close, and he's won this race. Mickey, Polish driver who joined the league last season, has seen himself on the podium twice before today, but finally he will get his chance to get his first career victory in NPL history here today, as Lil Gunner's penalty will lose him the win as he goes in deep. And that's giving a chance to Mickey now to close the gap. And Lil Gunner went on track with the last of first, but Mickey wins the Singapore Grand Prix. What a race from him. Lucas, with blistering, absolutely astonishing pace, goes on in 3rd place. Ski tried as he might. We'll have to settle for 5th as it stands, unless Dan makes a catastrophic error. These traction control paying dividends at the moment. Ski will finish 4th on the road. Dan will, however, even if the penalty did count, would still finish ahead. Harry has left the session. Krasik finishes in P6. It is Jan who will finish in P7 on track. Because the gap's so big anyway, even if these penalties were to count, it's very likely these are the actual finishing positions of the race. I know Logana's penalty definitely counts, because I don't think he was given a warning by a driver pushing him off, though he will probably argue that that was the case. Frosty there finishes in 8th. Devas somehow dropped way behind Frosty here. At the moment it's P9, but might lose out to P9 to Hubert on the final lap of the race. Grabbank gets another penalty. You have 2 penalties, what happened to you? And he goes, and Hubert apparently finished out of Devas, but I'm not sure that's actually true. Graham gets P11, that's it. What a race. Mickey wins his first career victory, as it's provisionally. Got straight to you for no reason. Yeah, I saw that. Was it on the lap you pitted? I think I saw you got 3 seconds on the inside of turn 4 on the right-hander. I don't know why. But it's a Mercedes 1-2 regardless of what happened to the penalties. What a race. What a performance by Mickey. Look at the difference in the fastest laps. My fucking god. Lucas, I've never been so impressed by Lucas before. Dan, you can't say he's unfairly quicker. He's just quicker than you. That's not unfair. There's nothing he did wrong. There's nothing you're... I mean, if you really care, you are the league owner, you can just kick him. But, like, you know, that would be very a sore loser thing to do, to be honest with you. I can hear someone in game chat, actually. Well, that concludes the Singapore Grand Prix. Ricky wins, Logan 2nd, Lucas 3rd, Dan 4th, and Ski 5th. What a race. And the championship leader has lost points to all of his rivals, those being Lil Gunnar, Lucas and Daniel, of course, excluding Gary, but Gary isn't really a championship contender this season, let's be real. What a race, what a season we're starting to have. Mickey finally wins a race from 4th on the grid. His teammate went from 11th to 2nd. Frosty with a great race from 13th to 8th, gets in the points. Interesting race here today. We'll see you tomorrow for the something Grand Prix. We'll see you then. Thanks for watching.